So, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening. Because here in Colombia, where I'm based, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Then we look at Mario, who is in Sevilla. What's the time in Sevilla at the moment, Mario?
Right now it's four in the afternoon.
4 in the afternoon. And for you, Anna, it's
5 o'clock in the afternoon, so a bit late here.
so yeah. No, I'm so happy that we are able to organize this webinar today because all of us in different time zones, but yeah, we're able to organize. I'm very happy about that. Uh, so my name is Jörgen Sjöberg. I'm the owner of Instituto Nordico, a company I founded quite some years ago now. It's 2007 actually. So we have been founded quite a few years ago. So what we do, I'm going to do a short presentation now in a bit. We promote studies in the Nordic countries, and among in the university we work with is Hanken, which I think is one of these very classical business schools in Finland. That is just fantastic. And look at like the employability rate. I think what's the employability rate like, Anna?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
The employability rate at Hanken, I know it's very, very high. Have you got a number?
If you're talking about the current amount of students, we have around 2,600 students, and a large proportion of these are international students. So it's always great.
And I think most of the students find a job when they finish their studies, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, exactly. It's a very high number actually for the Hanken alumni. So if I remember correctly, it was 85% gets employed within 6 months after graduation, after the master's degree. So that's a very, very high number.
And another thing that I find very interesting is that the Finnish government have got an aim, which is like that they would like that 75% of the students stay in Finland. I think that's quite an interesting thing as well. That says quite a lot about the Finnish government, that it really will love you to stay there. And I can imagine we haven't got like the employability rate for Latin American people, but for me, like I've been based here in Colombia for many years, and I know that Latin Americans are very, very good workers. They like if they like to find a work, they will find it in one way or another. So I think the employability rate here is fantastic. And then we got Mario with us here today, which I think is great, Mario. Like now we're going to talk about this exam GRE, which is very, very important if you like to apply to Hanken. Mario, do you think is GRE a difficult exam or not?
It is difficult. I have to say it is difficult. It's not an easy exam, but it's not impossible really. It's we've designed the exam in a way that it's friendly, that it's approachable, and the idea is to facilitate the access to schools like Hanken, schools that really want to attract the best students, the best future employees, So it's a difficult exam, but because it's a quality exam designed for this type of schools.
Exactly. So yeah, it's very much like based on business. So we're going to have a look at the exam in a bit. So I got a very short presentation about us. Share my screen with you guys. So what you can see now is something called Northern Lights. So in Spanish, Auroras Boreales. Northern Lights is something that you can see in most parts of the Nordic countries. The further north you get, the easier it is to see them. It's a very beautiful phenomenon. And have you seen any Northern Lights in Helsinki ever?
Yeah, I have actually seen in Helsinki. It's not that common, but it happens like usually like once a year or so. So it's great.
Mario, have you seen the Northern Lights?
I think I saw something once in the northern part of the United States. I thought at that time that it was Aurora Borealis, but I wasn't so sure.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, I think yeah. Now you need to go to the Nordic countries
I
and
need to
see
go.
them.
Yeah, I
you
need to go
for
to
sure.
Hanken. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more common to see them in Lapland and in northern parts of the Nordics. So if you travel there, you will for sure see them.
And I would say like the best time probably like might be like during autumn. Actually, you think oh it's winter, but actually autumn is quite a good time to see them. Um, so if we look at the Nordic countries, they are famous for a lot of things. And if we look at Finland, a lot of people are like, where is Finland? Well, Finland is in the northern parts of Europe. And something talking about now, me and Andy, like, well, you think, oh, it's cold, it's dark. Who like it doesn't sound that attractive. But if you look at it in a different way, like if you look at the life quality, it's fantastic. If you look at the days, like how many hours do you work a day? We're talking about 8 hours, is that right, Anna? How many hours do you work a day?
Yeah, roughly, yeah, 8 hours is the common norm.
And Anna, would your boss give you a call when you finished your work shift?
No, I would say that's quite uncommon. It might happen if it's something urgency, but no.
And because very interesting, because that is something that happened in Latin America, that your boss might call you when you finish your work day, which I think is a bit annoying. But yeah, it happens frequently. As you can see in Finland, it wouldn't happen that hardly ever. It would not do like an emergency really. Another very interesting thing about Finland, that is that it got more saunas than cars. Is that right?
Yeah, I would just say that it's correct now. I don't have the statistics with me, but it sounds logical.
And another interesting thing about Finland is that you're one of the countries that drink most coffee in the world.
Yeah, I actually don't know the reason behind this, but I guess maybe it's the darkness and people need a extra boost of energy throughout the workday. So maybe that's the reason.
And also one of the happiest countries in the world.
Yes, definitely. That's something I also wanted to bring up in my presentation as well. But that's yeah, for the seventh time in a row. So that's very great.
So looking at this thing, I think we should have changed this one from like a movement roll. But among like these are some brands that probably might have seen. So for example, Sunto is the Finnish brand. Another one, which is Polar, which is also have got the same function, which is like looking at your pulse. It's a Finnish brand. Another one, Angry Bird, is another one. So these are just some brands that you might have seen. They're actually from the Nordic countries. It's quite interesting. So the Nordic countries might be much closer to you than you think, actually. Um, and another one interesting thing about the Nordics is about sustainability. Well, looking at this one, Finland is on place number one. And then looking at other ones, Sweden, Denmark, second and the third one. Looking at the Global Sustainable Development Report. Quite interesting that the Nordics are in the top. So if you look at this, looking for like the nation which got a lot of experience in sustainability, well, I think the Nordic country is a very, very good option. And then I also said, why do these Nordic countries need you? Well, I think one of the most important things is that the people are aging. So we need a lot. We need you. We need you in the Nordics. We need people in the workforce. That's the reason why we really need you, and that's why Finland got this aim, like that 75% of the students stay in Finland. Um, Another thing, well, looking at innovation, that is something also we're very good at. I haven't got an innovation index here, but I know that Finland is on place number 7 at global innovation index. So if you're really into like, oh, I'd like to start my own business, I got a very good idea. Most probably, they will be able to help you to start your own business. Also very good at renewable energy. And if you look at this, like looking at the possibility to find a job, well, they really like in Finland know that you're very good at studying. You do bachelor, and then you do a master degree. But still, they really need you there in Finland. So what is Instituto Nordico? We work with about 21 universities at the moment, and we're more than more than happy to help you with the application, with the visa and everything, and we won't charge you anything. And today we're here with Hanken, which is fantastic business school. Another interesting thing that a lot of people ask about also, are there any limits when it comes to like if you can apply or not? No, in the Nordics there are no limits. To apply for a scholarship or go to study there, no limits. There's something say in Spanish which is like entre más cucho que uno sea, mejor. It's cucho. Cucho is to be old. And I would say old for me means have a lot of experience. So doesn't matter if you're 20 years old or 30 years old, 40 years old. I would say if you would like to go study at Hanken when you're 40 years old, I think it's a very good option because you might be much easier for you to find a job if you're 40 years old because you got a lot of experience actually. So for me, to be old means a lot of experience, and there are no limits to apply. So when it comes to what you need to be able to study at Hanken, looking at IELTS, if you would like to apply for a bachelor program, you can do the SAT. You need a test score about 600. And if you don't achieve the correct score, the English part, then you can do TOEFL or IELTS as well. But I would say SAT is the most important part here. And if you like to do a master program, then GRE is a very important thing. Are these numbers right, Anna?
Yes, GRE is definitely important since if you're applying out from outside EU, so that's something you should consider doing. And yeah, at least 150 seems correct, and also the verbal reasoning about 3.5.
And also another important thing to look at the prerequisites for the programs because they might ask like, oh, you need to have studied about like 30 credits in economics, 30 credits in other stuff. So that's another thing very, very important to look at. But we're more than happy to help you looking at these things. That's so you'd want to apply for a program that you won't be admitted to due to not fulfilling the prerequisites. Another thing, like while you're studying in Finland, you can also work. So you can work up to 30 hours a week. And Anna, a lot of things that happened in Finland recently. The post-study visa, how long is it at the moment?
If you mean do you mean the visa application for when you are going to study in Finland, or?
Like how long can you stay in Finland when you finish your studies?
Yes, after graduation, it's a 2-year visa that you have, like automatically after graduation. So that's a perfect time for you to, of course, look for work and start working.
So you can stay in Finland looking for a job for 2 years, and then when you got a job, then you change to like a work visa. Of course, all these things when it comes to migration is something that might change as well. It's something we are not their decision, but yeah, at the moment they're 2 years, but who knows? Might change, who knows? But at the moment, 2 years. So then you can work while you're studying, and you can actually find a job in English, and all the master programs at Hanken are in English as well. So if you look at like the Colombian market at least, how we're going to finance your studies. One option is called Futuro, one option is EasyText, and it's very, very important to look at like if you don't get like a scholarship, how are you going to finance your studies? That is very important to think about that. Think about it from the very, very beginning, because if you get admitted, yeah, you should go. Because yeah, we're talking about this about employability, very, very high. So you probably be able to like pay back the loan quite quickly because the salaries are in Finland very good as well. So yeah, if you don't win a scholarship, look for a lot of options in Colombia. Another option like Colombia, Colfutur is a good one, and EasyText is another one, good option. Another interesting we got now that we got an agreement with KLM Air France. So one of the ones who are admitted next year from Colombia will win a ticket actually to go and study in the Nordics. So that's another benefit that we're giving the students. We also got discounts on the tickets as well. So we like go with Air France, KLM. Yeah, that's a very good airline. And who are we? Well, we teach languages in Colombia, or actually, yes, now pretty much like in entire Latin America because everything is online. So we got like Swedish courses, we got IELTS preparation courses. We also tested for the Swedish exam. We're working total with about 27 countries. And we help everybody like with application process completely for free. Even got an official translator. So if you need to get a visual translation, we are more than happy. We've got a person who will be able to help you with that. Of course, the official translations cost a little bit, but we got that as well. And when it comes to accommodation at Hanken, Anna, do you guarantee accommodation for the students?
We have student apartments available that you, of course, need to apply for. And then there are a lot of also apartments on the private market. So I wouldn't say that people would end up without housing. But of course, the students' apartments are very popular. So you need to be in time and apply for those if you want to have one of those.
Because I know in other countries it's a little bit tricky to find housing. But as Anna said, yeah, it's not that difficult in Helsinki to find housing. So here's our contact information. And please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and here's our WhatsApp number. But we also will contact you now after the webinar, see if you're interested to study at Hanken. So that's my presentation. So please, Anna, continue.
Yes, I will
with
share
your one.
my PowerPoint. It should work, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. So hi, everyone. My name is Anna, and I work as a marketing coordinator at Hanken School of Economics. So I'm here today to basically tell you more about Hanken and why you should consider studying at Hanken specifically. So firstly, I will just also tell you a bit more facts about Finland. Jürgen, of course, presented already some, but Finland has a population of 5.6 million. And as we already stated, Finland has been chosen the happiest country in the world for the 7th time in a row. And Finland is a very clean and safe country, and it has a society built on trust and equality. So everyone, respects everyone around themselves. And as also discussed previously, Finns have a love for coffee, but also for nature and saunas. And for international students, there is a very clear and transparent visa application process once a student is admitted, because students' applications are prioritized in this matter. So, and it's also there are also affordable housing available specifically for students, as well as student healthcare and other student benefits. For example, you can eat student lunch for €3 around Helsinki, different uni cafes. So this is a very, very cheap price for students. And you also get discounts in sport facilities and for travel card, etc. And yeah, as already mentioned, there is a 2-year valid residence permit for job search after graduation. So a bit more about Hanken School of Economics. So Hanken was founded in 1909, and it's one of the oldest university-level business schools in the Nordics. And it's actually the only one standalone university-level business school in Finland. And Hanken achieved its university status in 1927, and Hanken also has a branch set up in Vaasa that was set up in 1980. So you can study both in Hanken in Helsinki as well as Hanken in Vaasa. But I'll get to this in a minute. And we have study programs in English offered on all levels, so bachelor, master's, and PhD. But of course, in this presentation, I will focus on the master's. And Hanken also has a Triple Crown accreditation of EQUIS, AACSB, as well as AMBA, and as well as a Financial Times ranking of number 57 for the Masters in Management ranking. And yeah, there is a total of 2,691 bachelor and master students and 124 PhD students. So you can notice from the numbers that Hanken is quite a small business school, but it actually brings a lot more of a welcoming feel to students, and people actually know each other, which is creates a very nice sense of belonging. And 20% of these students are based in Vaasa, so Vaasa is an even smaller campus than in Helsinki. So for students, there are a lot of opportunity to gain work experience and create business network already during studies. I will get into this a bit later, but for example, a lot of career fairs are offered for students. And for international students, there are specific integration possibilities as well that I will talk a bit more about later. So yeah, as I mentioned, there are campuses available in Helsinki as well as Vaasa. So if we start with Helsinki, Helsinki is quite a small capital city, but it brings a welcoming feel and everything seems familiar. And Helsinki is a hub of innovative design, has a rich culture and amazing restaurants and cafes all around the city. And Helsinki is also a very green city, so there is a lot of nature, a lot of parks, as well as there is, for example, a beach only 10 minutes away from Hanken. And there is very good transportation all around the city, buses, metro and trams, and they work, and yeah, they are always on time as well, so it's very easy to go around the city with those. And you also get reduced fees for the public transportation as a student. And as mentioned, there is affordable student housing available that Hanken offers for students. And there is also a large selection of libraries around Helsinki, unicafes with affordable lunches, as well as student discounts for gym memberships available around Helsinki. And overall, there are 30,000 students living in Helsinki, and this means that there is always something going on, that you can always, join some parties or events and see what other students are up to around the city. But yeah, if we move to Vaasa, Vaasa is based 400 kilometers from Helsinki on the west coast, and Vaasa is a very small but has a very vibrant and welcoming vibe, and it has a small town feel to it. And of course, it's a very charming coastal city since it's right next to the water, and this means that the clean air is very nice over there, and it also has a lot of nature around the city. And Vaasa is actually called the energy capital of the North because it's a center of renewable energy innovation. And Vaasa is also a very large student city in Finland, and statistically every fifth person in Vaasa is a student. So you can only imagine all the events going around the city all the time. And also, as in Helsinki, there are a lot of affordable student housing available, unicafes where you can eat a cheap lunch, and as well as student discount for public transport and other things you can enjoy as a student there. But yeah, so Hanken offers master program in English, and the master program in Hanken is for 2 years, and there are several majors you can choose from. Here you can see the examples, but they are accounting, economics, finance, intellectual property and business law, international strategy and sustainability, marketing and management, as well as supply chain management. So there really is a lot of variety and something for everyone. And we actually also are launching a double degree master's program in financial analysis and sustainability reporting, which is a 1-year master's program together with Umeå School of Business in Sweden, as well as Hanken School of Economics in Vaasa. But about this, you can find more information available soon since it's a new program. But yeah, check out hanken.fi to see more information about this program. And to apply for the Hanken Master Program, there are 2 application runs, and here you can already see the dates for these, but I will jump into these a bit more later on. And the tuition fee for the master program is 15,000 euros per year, but there are also scholarships available that I will also run through a bit later. And as already mentioned, we also have a lot of focus on the integration for international students. So Hanken International Talent Program is one of these that focuses on students networking and having company visits and landing internships. So there are a lot of available opportunities for students to find jobs. So yes, just an overlook of the master's requirement for 2025. So of course, we require a bachelor's or a previous master's degree. And there are also certain language requirements in English that you can specifically look up on the Hanken webpage. And as well as this, we require 25 ECTS in the subjects relevant for the particular program, except for economics, which requires 30 ECTS. And as mentioned, of course, the GMAT or the GRE aptitude test is a requirement for people applying outside of EU or EAA. So please also, look up the specific requirements for these on Hanken's website, or now, of course, during this webinar, you will get more information. And as well as this, there is, you need to apply also with your CV in English. And something really important to remember that if you want to give Hanken access to your test results when doing the GRE test now after this seminar or in the future, you need to use this code, which is 8433. So please remember this, take a picture of this or check it out. It's also available on the Hanken webpage. So you see the number there. But you need to give Hanken access for the GRE results for us to be able to admit your application. So if we take a look at the two application rounds and the degree requirements for these, so we have a main admission opening on the 8th of January 2025, and it's open until 22nd of January. And as I mentioned, there is a requirement of a bachelor's or a master's degree from a recognized university or a University of Applied Sciences, and at least ECTs and subjects relevant for the desired master's program. As well as this, we require the GMAT or the GRE exam, and as well as the English language requirements. And as Jörgen mentioned, the 150 is the minimum score for the quantitative reasoning section. Specifically for the GRE exam. And you can also apply via the rolling admission. So this one opens in the 23rd of January and is open until the 16th of April. So it's a very long time that it's open. And this rolling admission has a bit higher requirements, but it's also a very fast track admission, and you get the results within 4 to 5 weeks after applying. And here you can see the more specific requirements for the rolling admission. And for the GRE, we require 158 in the quantitative reasoning section. Yes, so as I mentioned, there are scholarships available. Please note that these, of course, are a limited amount, and they are available for those with the best grades in that sense, or for the good students. So for the admission phase, there is the Hanken Premium Waiver, which means there is a 50% tuition fee waiver for the duration of first degree at Hanken. And as you can see, it's valid for 3 years for bachelor and 2 years for master's. And as well as that, there is a Hanken waiver, which means a 25% tuition fee waiver. And this one is available, valid for the first academic year of enrollment. And for a second year, there is also a Hanken honor waiver with 25% of tuition fee waiver for the second year of enrollment. And yeah, please note that enrolled tuition fee paying students must apply separately for the second year to gain the scholarship. And you can look up more information on hanken.fi and read more about the scholarships there. So lastly, I just wanted to open up a bit more about the fun parts of actually studying at Hanken. So as I mentioned, it's a very small business school, but this actually creates a very strong sense of belonging and a very unique sense of community. And it's a bit like everyone knows everyone around the school. So it's very easy to network also with the students there and to gain friends. And speaking of networking, we have multiple partner companies that work with Hanken, and we host career fairs such as Hanken Network Day, and also company visits as well as CV check-ins, guest lectures and cases with these companies. And this overall opens up a lot of job opportunities and possibilities for students. And we also have a very large alumni network, and alumni are all around the world, so in 70 different countries. And the alumni are, as mentioned, very happy with the Hanken studies. And as I mentioned, 85% of the alumni have gotten employed within 6 months. So that's a very high number also to consider. And speaking of the innovation index and the innovation in the Nordic countries, Hanken also actually offer Hanken Business Lab, which is a new form of incubator aiming to help startups, scale-ups, non-profit organizations, and individuals for them at Hanken to start your own business, meet people like-minded that also have their own business, and gain these work opportunities in this sense. And there also, of course, are a lot of social activities around Hanken. So Hanken has a student union, and within the student union, there is master's committee, which is, of course, focused on the master students, and they actually offer tutors for new master students, international master students joining Hanken. So at the beginning of the semester, you will have your own your tutor group, and your tutor who will help you and show you around the campus and give you all the tips and tricks in your daily life at Hanken. And of course, there are a lot of activities going on, not only around Helsinki, but also at Hanken. So there are a lot of parties, a lot of sports events, a lot of culture events. And I'm actually a Hanken alumni myself. I think I forgot to mention that in the beginning, but of course the student life and the things outside actually studies are something that bring the best memories of your studies. So I really want to encourage you that Hanken actually has a very great student experience and a lot of events to take part of. And I would say there is something for everyone. But that's all I have from my part. So if there are any questions about Hanken, I'm very happy to answer them at the end of this presentation, but otherwise I will now give the floor to Mario.
And I can see that a question came in here. If you would, in the chat box, if you would like to, answer it in the chat box directly. And as Anna said, if any question comes up, please, add a question in the chat box. And I can see a lot of people from all around the world, and I think it's great. Although I'm based in Bogota in Colombia, we're more than happy to help you with the application process as well. And I can see my presentation was between Spanish and English, but I hope you understand. It was quite just a few slides, but I hope you understood my presentation completely. Anna, did you understand my presentation more or less?
Yes, I did.
I think the figures, like the images, quite explain pretty much of everything. I'm sorry about that. But so Mario, now tell us about this exam GRE,
Yes.
which is like an exam on the top. Like a lot of people need to do an English exam, and then we got GRE, which is another exam as well. But it opens up the door to apply to many business schools in the world. And among them is Hanken. And it's very good to do the GRE exam due to the fact that you can apply to many more programs if you've done a GRE. So, Mario, now tell us about
That's
GRE.
right. Just give me a second. I'll share my presentation with you. I think you can see my screen now. Is that correct?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
So yes, if you like to put it in the presentation mode.
It's not in presentation mode?
Not at the moment. But still we can see it. You can see all your slides. This is good. If you like to, you can put in presentation mode. It's up to you really, but we can now see it.
Let me see. I'll put it in presentation mode. That was the idea.
There it is. It should come up. Otherwise, no problem.
Can you see it now?
It's working well. Go ahead.
Can you see the presentation mode?
Something, I'm not sure.
I don't see the presentation mode. Are you sharing?
No.
Do you have multiple screens? That might be an issue.
No, I'm trying to just share my window. Let me see. Just bear with me for a moment, please.
Because we could see your screen. It was not. Yeah, we could see your presentation, but we're not in presentation mode. But if you like to, we can still do it in other mode as well. That is not a problem.
Just share your screen. Right now, I'm not sharing anything, correct?
No.
Okay, just give me a moment, please, and I'll make sure to find the presentation and share it with you. It was working before. I understand, technology, things happen.
So
Okay.
Anna, have you done a GRE?
No, I haven't actually. So yeah, don't know what it actually looks like, but
Okay.
I'm intrigued to learn more now.
Great, yeah. Now, yeah,
So
if you
I'm trying to share it again.
yeah, it's very small at the moment. See, because it's better it was
Can you
better
see it?
before. Yeah,
No,
it's just that yeah, we can see, but it's very small at the moment. Um,
this is very
Before it was
strange.
even better. Yeah, down. Yeah. Go ahead, a little bit further down
Let me
and make
see it
it.
because
We could now see it.
I'll
We
try
could
to
see
share
it.
it in a different way.
Okay. Uh, Something is coming up. Yes, fantastic. Now it's working well. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that. Buenos dias, bienvenidos. We're going to do this in English because it's the language, the common language to for everybody, and it's the language in which you will do the GRE general test. Yes, my name is Mario, and I am the person responsible for the GRE in your region. I'm the person who works with universities, with preparation centers, with students around all their GRE needs, information, updates. So thank you very much for being here today. Thank you, Instituto Nordico, and thank you, Hanken, for having me. Let's just go and jump into the presentation because I know we don't have much time and there's quite a bit of content. So we're going to leave some time at the end for questions. Also, something that I'm going to do is copy and paste all the links, all the websites that I'm going to be mentioning here. I'm going to copy and paste them in the chat box for you to check them later on. And please stay with us until the end because I have a surprise for you. I think it's a surprise that you're going to like very much. We love surprises, right? So today we're going to be looking at the GRE general test in general. Also, I'm going to tell you how to register for the test, how to send your results to Hanken or any other schools. And we're going to look at the different sections of the test in more detail. I'm not going to extend myself very much because we don't have much time, but I think it's important that you understand what the test is about and what it looks like. And at the end of the presentation, I'll share with you some preparation materials to help you succeed in the exam because that's what we want. We want you to do well, to get a good score, and have access to Hanken or the school of your dreams. So we're going to start with what is the GRE general test? What is this about? Okay, so GRE is actually the most widely used test for graduate admissions in the world. It's a test that focuses on your skills, on your abilities to think critically, to analyze text, to communicate efficiently and logically. So it's not a test about any particular subject. Like you don't need to be an expert in science or in business law. That's not the point. This is about your abilities, your skills. So that's why you can use the GRE for many different purposes. You can use it for business schools, you can use it for general university masters, etc. But remember, it's just a test for postgraduate courses, for graduate programs, okay? So you can use the GRE to apply to general master's programs like a master's in engineering, in economics, etc. You can also use the GRE to apply to specialized business master programs like a master's in finance or a master in accounting, etc., etc. You can also use it to apply to MBA programs, law programs, scholarships, fellowships, etc., etc. And a very good thing about the exam is that the results are good, are valid for 5 years. So if you take the exam now because you want to apply to Hanken and you get your results and all that, but then maybe in 2-3 years you decide to go back to school because you want to do an MBA or maybe there's a scholarship that interests you, you can still use the same GRE results. You don't have to take the exam again. Your results will be stored in your ETS account for 5 years. Okay, I think that's very important to remember. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the exam, the 3 different parts of the exam. And also, I'll give you some general tips and recommendation for you to do well on test day. Okay, so as you can see on this slide, the GRE is divided in 3 different parts. The first part of the exam is analytical writing. Second one is verbal reasoning, which includes 2 sections. And the third part is quantitative reasoning, which includes 2 sections too. The total duration of the exam is 1 hour and 58 minutes. As you can see on the slide, time limits are very important. We are very strict about timing. So it's important that, first of all, you familiarize yourself with this type of exam, that you go online, you do our practice tests, because it's important to train yourself to take an exam working against the clock, you see? Okay, so the 3 different parts of the exam will give you 3 different scores. And this is a bit specific, so I'm going to pay special attention to it. You will get 3 separate scores. For the first part of the exam, the analytical writing, scores will go from 0 to 6. So you will get a score that looks like 3.5, 4, 4.5, etc. Then verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning, the scores go from 130 and 100 to 170. And so you may get a score that looks like 150, 152, 153, etc., etc. That's why Anna, before, she was saying that for Hanken, the score is 150 or 158, because they focus on one of these parts. So they're requiring 150 or 158. So it's an exam that you don't pass or fail. Okay, it's an exam that will grant you a score that then you can use to apply to the program or the school that interests you. So my advice always is, always check with the school, with the admission office, with the website, and make sure that you understand the score that they're requiring, because that's very important. Sometimes they'll say, just send us your GRE score. Okay, that's fine. Other times they'll be more specific and they'll say something like, we require for GRE 155, something like that. So don't guess, go online and check, make sure that you understand the requirement that they have for the test. Okay, now big question. So where can I take the GRE? I'm interested, I'm ready, I want to apply to Hanken. Where can I take the test? So 2 options. Generally, for your information, the test is available on an ongoing basis in most regions of the world. So every month, there are dates available for taking the GRE test in more than 160 countries. So the best way to find out if you can take it near you is go online. You can even check on our website. I'll share with you these links after my presentation, so don't worry about it. So you can go online and check exactly where the test is available and the dates when the test is available. Okay, in Colombia it is available. I know that many of you are attending from other parts of Latin America, but the best way is to go online and make sure that you find your best location and your best date. Okay, what happens if you can't take the test at a local test center? Well, you can also take it from home. The GRE is available 24/7. You could schedule the test, for the day after. In 24 hours, you could be taking the GRE if you wanted to. So the from home version is identical to the face-to-face version. It's the same test. It's the same content, the same format, the same scoring, everything. Even the price is the same. We don't change that. It's $220 US, $220 for both versions of the exam. You can even use the same preparation materials because the exam is not any different. So maybe you think, okay, I'll take the exam from home because it sounds a little easier, right? It's not easier. I want to guarantee you that the exam is not going to be easier because you take it from home. We implement very strict security protocols, and it's going to be there's going to be somebody watching you and observing you and red flagging any anomalies, any strange behavior. It will be red flagged. So my recommendation is, if you cannot provide a space that is free of any interruptions, that is completely quiet, that you have a steady internet connection, you never know what may happen to the internet, or maybe somebody comes in the room, or there's a strange noise. If you are not sure about that, please, by all means, book your exam at a local test center and just avoid unpleasant surprises. Now I'm going to show you a little bit about the test platform, so that maybe if you're not familiar with this kind of online tests, I think it's important for you to actually see the platform, what it looks like, and the type of things that you can do. Okay, what you can see on the screen right now is your basic GRE test platform. You have different tools available. You can do different things. And first thing I want to highlight is that the GRE test platform is very user-friendly. We tried to create a platform that was easy to navigate, that would allow you to move around easily and freely, because the exam is stressful enough. So we thought that we should create a platform that was flexible, that was easy. So you can move back and forth within the exam. There's no limits. You can just skip a question if you're not sure. You can go back to it later, change the answer if you change your mind, etc., etc. And you can do this as many times as you want. There's no limitation. There's no penalty for that. If there's a question that you find a little too difficult, or maybe it's taking up too much of your time, you can mark it and review it later. You can go back to it later. There's a review button. You just press on it and you will see all the questions that you have left unanswered. Also, we do not deduct points for wrong answers. Okay, if you get something wrong, it's not a negative point. You just don't get the point, but we won't deduct points for negative answers. You can always go back, change your mind, change the answer, that's fine. And for the quantitative part of the exam, the quantitative part is the mathematics, okay? For that, you will get a digital calculator on the screen. You can see it right now on the slide. It's a small, simple calculator that will help you with all the basic calculations and computations. Yes, it's there to help you solve the problems. Also, there's a clock on the platform that you can hide if it makes you nervous. You can hide it and just work without the clock. Okay, now I'm going to show you the different sections of the exam. I want you to see what the exam actually looks like and what you're going to be supposed to be doing in each of the sections. Okay, we're going to start with the verbal reasoning measure. This is the verbal reasoning part of the exam. The verbal reasoning part of the exam assesses your ability to understand what you read and how you apply your reasoning skills. It contains 3 types of questions, okay? Reading comprehension, text completion, and sentence equivalence. So this is about, words, vocabulary, reading. It's also about making connections, recognizing relationships in written texts. We want to see how you can figure out the meaning of a text, of a passage, even if you don't know all the vocabulary, because of course it's impossible to know all the vocabulary in the world, right? So we just want to see that you can use your reasoning skills to make sense out of that particular text. You don't need to know anything, and you don't need to be an expert on any particular discipline. You don't need any specific knowledge. You just need to use your reasoning skills to make out the sense. You will find passages taken from natural sciences like astronomy, biology, or general sciences. You will find text about social sciences, business, humanities. And by humanities, we mean art, history, but you're not going to find anything like poetry or fiction, or anything like that. Again, I want to highlight that you don't need a specific knowledge on any subject. All the information is right there in the text that you will be shown. Okay, this what you can see on the screen right now, it's an example of the verbal reasoning part of the exam. I don't want to go into much detail. We don't have much time, but as you can see, it's your traditional fill in the blank activity. You have a sentence, a passage that needs to be completed with 2 words. In this case, you need to select 2 words that actually mean the same, 2 synonyms that will help you complete that sentence. So you find 6 different options on the screen. You need to pick 2 of them that actually are synonyms. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but in this case, in this particular example, the answer was universal and ubiquitous. So those 2 words would help you complete the sentence, and the passage would still mean the same. You would convey the same meaning. So that would be your right answer. Now we're going to look at the quantitative reasoning measure. This is the mathematics, the numbers, my favorite. And similar to what we did before, I'm just going to show you an example. We're going to look at it together and some tips and recommendations. So what do we need to do here? The quantitative measure assesses your ability to interpret and analyze information and solve problems using mathematical models. That's the key part. Solve problems using mathematics. We really want to understand if you're able to work with numbers. We're not interested in testing if you can multiply or subtract in your head. That's not the idea. You don't need to be Einstein. What we need to see is, can you work with numbers? Can you use high school level mathematics to solve problems? And for high school level mathematics, we mean algebra, arithmetic, geometry, and data analysis. It doesn't include trigonometry, calculus, or other higher level advanced mathematics. I'll say that in general, if you've finished your studies recently, you shouldn't be very complicated. But maybe if you've been out of school for some time, like me, so most probably you will need to refresh ideas, formulas, terminology, because you've been disconnected from this kind of problems for some time. We provide all the formulas, all the terminology on the website, so that's I think that's a great help for you to familiarize with this part of the exam. I'll share with you the links at the end of the presentation. So this is a quick example that I wanted to show you about the quantitative reasoning part of the exam, the mathematics. So we have a problem on the screen, and we have 5 different answer choices. So it's not like you need to calculate the number, the exact number, not for this particular activity. You just need to provide the most approximate number, and that would be the solution to the activity. In this case, you have to calculate the amount of gasoline and money spent by a car. We're not going to go into much detail. We don't have time. Many of you probably are so smart. You already got the solution, but the solution here is $30. So just by approximation, you would get this one right. You can use the calculator. It's there for you if you want it, but just by elimination, you would get it right. Okay, I'm conscious about a little about the time, so I don't want to take up all the time left. Then last but not least, the analytical writing section. This is the writing part of the exam, okay? You need to write in English. And just to make it very simple, you have 30 minutes to write one essay. The essay is going to ask you to analyze an issue. On the screen, you're going to see a prompt, a situation explaining a topic, and we'll give you the task. You will give you the instructions so that you know what you need to do. You need to develop an argument. You need to develop your own ideas and write an essay on the screen so that you can see it more clearly. This is what you would get, exactly something like this. You would get a prompt on the left side of the screen. Underneath, you would get the instructions. And on the right-hand side, you would get the blank space where you need to develop your ideas, your concepts, your arguments, explaining your point of views. For those of you who are not native speakers like me, it's okay if you make some grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes. That's all right. The purpose and the goal of this activity is to understand that you can explain with arguments, with logics, your points of view. Okay, so it's all right to have some grammatical mistakes. How to register for the test and how to send your scores. The most important part here is that you need to register online and create your ETS personal account. This is a free account that will allow you to register for the GRE test and actually for the TOEFL test as well. You can go to mygre.ets.org and you can create your free account there. It's very straightforward, it's not complicated, and it's going to give you access to all things related to the GRE after and before the exam, all the preparation materials, how to register for the test, the fees, if you want to book the test from home, you can do everything from here. You don't need to get in touch with Hanken or with Instituto Nordico in order to create your free ETS account. My recommendation is once you know that you need to take the test, book it as early as possible. because spaces are limited and you don't want to wait until the last minute and then find out that you cannot go to Medellin to take the exam, right? Because there are no more spaces available. Then once you take the exam, right after you take it, right after you complete it, you will have the chance to send your scores to the school of your preference, to Hanken, for example. You will get the unofficial scores on the screen right after you take the exam, and this will be the scores for verbal reasoning and the quantitative reasoning. Why do you get them automatically right away? Because the computer marks those two parts of the exam. So these are called the unofficial scores, but they will help you make a decision and decide if you want to send your scores to the school or not, because the results normally are very, very accurate. So you have a chance right there to send your scores to up to four schools. It's included in the exam fee. You just select the schools that you want to send them to, and automatically when the official scores are released, the school will receive your GRE scores. You don't have to do anything. It will be all automatic. The GRE code for Hanken is, as Hannah said, 8433. Your official GRE scores will be available in 8 to 10 natural days, calendar days. So you take the exam, you select the schools that you want to send your scores to, and the official scores will be released 8 to 10 natural days after. Then you will have your GRE scores in your ETS account for 5 years. You have them there, you can print them out, you can save them as a PDF, you'll have them there for 5 years. Okay, now we're reaching the end of today's presentation. I want to show you some preparation materials, all of them designed and released by ETS, so they are all official preparation materials, and many of them are free of any charge. They're completely free. They will help you become more familiar with the exam, to understand the different parts, to understand the layout, the design, etc., etc. So on the screen right now, you see the link, the website where you can have access to all of them. You can also access them through your ETS account. And I just want to highlight two of them. The Power Prep Plus series. Those are very useful to familiarize yourself with the exam, with the format, with the type of questions. You will get also GRE tests for practice, exactly the same thing, a simulation of the test. And they will help you, like I said, to just familiarize yourself, to get to know the exam better, so that on test day you can go straight to answering the question and you don't have to waste any time trying to figure out the test platform. Also, the GRE Mentor Prep course, that's an actual course that you can follow. It's self-study. You can do it at your own pace, and it includes quizzes, practice exams, questions, etc. This one is priced at $100 US. And that's actually the most expensive course that we have. All of them, which you will be able to find on our website, in your ETS account, they're all under $100 or completely free, and they come in different formats: PDF, digital, paper books, etc., etc. So this is the end of today's presentation, and this is my surprise. Here's my surprise for you. We have a $30 discount on the official GRE price. The price is $220. It's a global price. So by using that promo code on the screen, GRE Webinar 30, you will get $30 off. And the only requirement is that you book the test and take the test before the end of the year, before December 31st. And make sure that you copy that. And this is it. This is all the information that I had for you today. We'll stay here for a few minutes. These are all the links I'm going to share with you in the chat box. We'll stay here for a few minutes to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much for your time, for your interest, and best of luck.
So thank you, Mario, for doing the presentation. I think a lot of people don't really know that much about GRE, and it's fantastic to see more. They look into like the exam, what you need to, how to prepare for, and everything. It's great. I think we have answered most of the questions here in the chat box. But if you got any more questions, add them right away for us to be able to answer, because it's It's about, they're taking us about 1 hour at the moment. But please, so here we got the question. How long do you recommend to study for GRE before doing the test?
That's a very common question, and it very much depends on you, on your background. If you just finished university, you say that, I don't know, you're coming from engineering or I don't know, economics, then it's probably going to be very easy. So just enough time to familiarize yourself with the test. If you've been out of college for a while and you need to get used to the idea of a test, mathematics, verbal reasoning, I would say to be sure 3 months. But just that's just my estimate. You know, learning, it's something very personal.
So I think you should start to prepare for the GRE exam right away. As you can see, like the application window for Hanken is in January. So yeah, and they also can go
Exactly.
to apply the, or you can also apply in the rolling admission. But yeah, start to prepare now because I know that you need a lot of papers and you translate a lot of papers. So start with the GRE preparation right away. And yeah, that's my advice. I think we haven't got any. Oh, I studied science at high school and business at bachelor. What should I pursue? GMAT or GMAT or GMAT? I think it said well, like the GMAT or GRE. I can imagine. Yeah, GRE exactly. So Mario, I know. I think you know a little bit about GMAT, but you're an expert on GRE. What is the difference? Do you know the difference between the exams?
Yeah, GMAT is very much focused on business programs. So it's the type of exam, the type of exam designed for business education. We have designed an exam, the GRE, that is more, it's wider in application, it's wider in scope. You can you could come from science or from business. You could come from psychology and still take the GRE because it's a more, I will say, it's a more friendly and open exam than GMAT. GMAT is more focused on business, and it makes sense for people who are very much into that mindset, you know, finances and all that. But I have to say the GRE and GMAT both are equally accepted by schools.
I have got a question for you, Anne, I think. For the 30 credits requirement on I think like it said like economy masters, which subjects are relevant? Only econ subjects or other quantitative and finance subjects can account to that as well?
Yeah, I just answered the question in the chat,
Okay.
but
Oh,
please
sorry.
see the link
Sorry.
that I posted in the chat for the person who asked the question, and there we have the subject-specific requirements. So if you're meaning economics, if you want to study economics, there are the requirements you can see in the link that I just posted. So take a look there, and hopefully, if it doesn't clarify, then you can always email admissions.hanken at hanken.fi.
And then we here got some question about the English exams, looking at the TOEFL, looking at the GRE. So I know that looking at Hanken, I believe you can do a GRE or you can do a TOEFL, and both are valid. So you can do one. So you need to do GRE. So you done GRE, I think you're good to go for application. Am I right, Anna?
Yeah, if you're over the GRE 150 and as well as the analytical score that I don't remember now on top of my head, then you are okay. But if you still need to, if you're lower than that score, you can still take an English language exam to make up for this score. So I'll link you also to that language requirement webpage where you can see more information about this.
And then which study prefer to have GRE to TOEFL? Not sure about the question that is here. Which study prefer to have?
Yeah, GRE is not an English exam, so it's an
No,
aptitude test. You would need to take the TOEFL besides the GRE.
exactly. Oh, it's a good question. About the English certificate, is Cambridge valid? Does the English language certificate need to be taken? Okay. So it's something we need to look at actually, because if we look at the IELTS exam, if we look at TOEFL exam, they're valid for 2 years. I don't know if you do this like Cambridge Advanced, Cambridge Proficiency, which I'm not sure if they're valid, and look at Hanken. I know they're valid for life. the score developed for life, but I think it depends also on the university a bit. Anna, do you know anything about, we do this Cambridge Advanced, Cambridge Proficiency? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm just checking our webpage. So for the Cambridge Proficiency or Cambridge Advanced, the requirement is for let's do it clearly. For the Cambridge C1 Advanced, the grade is C, and for the Cambridge C2 Proficiency, it's with a minimum result of C1 or C if taken with the test was called CPE. But these are all under the link I just posted in the chat, so take a look yourself for the person who asked the question, and hopefully it clarifies.
Thanks a lot, Anna. I think it's now about 7 minutes past 10, 7 minutes past 10 in Colombia, and in your count it's a bit late. I know that you're ready like to get some dinner and prepare for night. But if you got any more questions, send them right, put them in the chat right away. We've answered them. I want to do a master in economics. Should I take the GRE test? Yes, I would say so. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Because as we said, like it's good to do. If you do a GRE, then you might not need to do the TOEFL or IELTS if you got a very good test score. So yeah, do the GRE. It's very important to do it. Thank you so much. Great, Alita. I think we haven't got any more questions here at the moment. Thanks so much. So Anna, Mario, great for being with us here today, and Mario giving us the insights about the GRE exam. A fantastic presentation. Great that you've been here with us, Anna and Mario.
Thank you,
And I
Jorgen.
hope we'll have a lot of applicants for Hanken this year. So great. So for you guys, have a nice evening. For us, yeah, we have started today. So have a good day.
Thank you so much for having us, and have a great day.
Have a great
Same
day.
to you
Thank
guys.
you. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.